I'm going to show you how to transfer your file that you've downloaded, your design file, to USB and then put your USB into your V3 machine. So first off, I've downloaded my file onto my desktop, and the first thing I have to do is unzip it. So I'm going to click on it once with my left click and then right click, and I'm going to choose extract files. And then it's going to ask me where I want it saved. I'm going to save it to the same place, so on my desktop, and then I'm going to click OK. And it's now extracted the file to my desktop. You can save it wherever you want, it's entirely up to you, but for the purposes of this video I'm doing it to my desktop. So now when I open this up, I've got my instructions, all my files in their various formats, and I've got an image of the file that I'm going to be doing as well. So what I need to do now is choose the format that my machine uses, which is PES, P-E-S. So I'm going to go to this one here, and I'm just going to drag it onto the desktop for a minute, and it's going to copy the file onto the desktop. So I can now close that. I'm going to want to put this onto my USB key. So I'm going to open my Windows Explorer, and then I need to find my USB key. So I'm just going to plug that in. And it's here. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to create a file for the design that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to call it lace zipper bag. And now I can drag the design file into the file that I've just created, and if I just enlarge this, there's the design on there. All I have to do now is remove the USB key from my computer and plug it straight into my V3 machine. So I'm going to right click and eject, and I can now remove the USB key from my machine, from my computer. When you first turn on your V3 machine, you're going to come up against this screen here, and it says the carriage of the embroidery unit will move, keep your hands etc. away from the carriage. This is going to calibrate the arm that moves your embroidery hoop, so just press OK. And then you're going to take your USB key and plug it into the USB port, which is the top port on the side of your machine here. To get into your USB key, you're going to choose this middle symbol here. And there's my files on that are actually on the USB key. I deleted a few earlier so that it didn't get confusing. So now I'm going to select my lace zipper file, which was the one that I unzipped and put onto the key for you to see. So I'm going to press that, and there's the file here. So I'm going to press that, and now I'm going to touch the button that says embroidery. Before that, you will not be able to get the design to stitch. You must press embroidery, and that will make it available, and all your colour sequence will come up. along with how many stitches, the time, and what colour sequence number you're actually on at the time. Now, if you want to skip through any of these, for example, you were sewing out, I don't know, a bag, and it had some quilting that you didn't want to include, and you wanted to skip through one of the colours. If you go down to here where there's a needle and it's got a plus and a minus sign, and press that, here you have got the ability to make your machine go back one stitch, go forward one stitch, or back or forward 10, back or forward 100, or back or forward 500 at a time. And you've also got this cotton reel here with a plus and a minus. Now, if I wanted to go to, say, colour 3, I would press this one twice, and I've now got colour 3 up here. So when I go to stitch this now, it will actually stitch colour number 3. So if you want to go back through the colours, same again, just choose the minus, and I'm now back on the first round. To come out of here, you can press close, and then you can go to return, and it takes you to this screen here. If you've finished with the pattern, you select OK, and you're back to your main screen again. Now, when it asks you if you want to delete the pattern, let me just bring this one up for a second. When you go back and it says, do you want to delete? OK, to delete the selected pattern, you click OK. It's not actually deleting it from your USB key. It's only deleting it from the machine, so it's still on your USB key there. Make any adjustments to your machine. This little icon that looks like a sheet of paper here, you can press that, and it brings up several pages, and it's from here that you can adjust your machine. I've got the machine speaker volume turned to off because I make lots of videos. I don't want that beeping and making noises all the time because it would become really annoying. And then you can go through the screens themselves, either backwards or forwards. So the next screen gives you your language options, the embroidery screen, all sorts of things. And if you read it in your user manual, it will show you how to use and what the adjustments on all of these do. So you've got the screen brightness display, the light that's on and off. I have it turned off for filming. Then on the next screen, I've got my software version for my machine, and also the service count and the stitch count. Then on the next screen along, you've got the embroidery foot height. Now this allows you to move your foot up and down if you've got something that's really lofty. So you're doing a quilt with high loft batting, you can raise the foot a little bit, or you can lower it if you're doing thinner stuff. You've also got your machine speed here, so you just press the touch buttons and it'll take it down to 600 or 350 depending on what you're comfortable stitching with. You've got your tension here, so you can adjust the tension of the top thread. The default is 0. Then you've got your personal choices of the embroidery background colour, the thumbnail background colour. So loads and loads of different adjustments that you can make with it. To come out of that, just press close, and it's also accessible. I'll bring the design up again. So there's the design, and then go to embroider. If you want to make adjustments during stitching, wait till the colour finishes, and then you can access the screens again from here. So go through to the one that you want to change, make the adjustments, and then just press close and it will retain them. So now my machine is ready to stitch this design. So I'm now going to swap cameras so that and talk you through the buttons, threading it, etc. Down here you've got access to your bobbin cover, so just pull that little lever back and this will come off. Then your bobbin should uncoil with the thread to the left and anti-clockwise when you pull on it. So you're going to place that in there. Place your finger on the top of it and wind it through the little snake path here. You've got a little piece that the thread has to go under here, and then wrap it round here, the little channel there. Pull on it to pull the end off, and then you can take your finger off. By keeping your finger on the bobbin, it makes sure that the thread actually goes through the places that it needs to underneath this plate. So now I can put my lid back on. So now it comes to threading your machine. So place your bobbin onto the spool holder, and then you just need to follow the numbers. So pass the thread under this hook at the front here, and I hold on to the thread just at the back here, just so that it keeps it taut as I'm winding it through. So take it round the back and down through number 2, which is this channel here, then up round the one-way hook inside this piece here, down, then round number 6, which is the little metal hook here by the needle. Then you're going to pull your thread up here, so bring it across the front of this metal piece and then through the 2 plastic pieces here, and on the side here you've got a knife, and you're just going to hook your thread round and pull it back, and that will cut off the end. Then this black button here is the automatic needle threader, and you're going to push that and your needle will thread, and your machine is, short of putting the hoop in, is now ready to stitch. So after having hooped your stabilizer, all it remains is to put your hoop into your machine. So push it in, and this track here pushes into there. Pull the lever down and your machine is now set up to go. As soon as you're ready to start stitching, push this button here which lowers the foot, and that will turn this button to green. You've got 2 other buttons here. One is to cut the thread. If you, for example, your bobbin had run out and you needed to remove the hoop, just push the scissor button and it will cut the thread so that you can remove everything. And this button here is to lower and raise the needle. So you're all set up. All that remains now is to push the green button, and that's go. And it's also your stop button as well, of course. So just to recap, foot up and down, cut the thread, needle up and down, and go. When you come to the end of the design and it's finished stitching, you will get a message up that says finished. Just click the OK and then hit return. OK to delete the selected pattern, click OK, and you're now back to your menu. It will be exactly the same sequence for your pre-programmed designs as well. For example, let's pick one of these. that brings you to the menu where you can choose them, and this is your up and down to scroll through them. And you can use your stylus or your finger, it really doesn't matter, I prefer to use my finger. Pick your design and then click embroidery, and it's now all ready to stitch. And then you would load the colours, of course, and work your way through the colour sequence. And once again, if you needed to skip any colours, down to the needle plus and minus, and the cotton reels here plus and minus, and you can skip any or of the colours or work your way back through the colours if you had to restitch one. So really easy, very straightforward. Come out of here, okay, return, and I'm back to square one. If I wanted to put some lettering on, I would push the 2 A's here, and that brings me to the fonts that are installed in my machine. I've just got 2 screens of them, and you pick your font, so let's just pick this one for argument's sake. Then here you've got your capital letters, your small letters, numbers, punctuation and special letters. So if I wanted to say write my name, I go K, then small letters, push the small letters, A, and then the Y, and that will give me my name. And now I can click the embroidery, and if I wanted to do each of these letters as a different colour, then I would push the multicolour, and then that would split them into different colours. I know this is all black, but it would still stop after each letter. Then if I wanted to change the position in the hoop, I've got these arrows here, so if I wanted to move it to the left, just push the left button, and that will move the embroidery arm to the left, down, and if I want it in dead center, then I just push the black dot in the center there, and it centers it all. So it's very easy, very user friendly, and it will tell you how many stitches there are to it, how long it's going to take on the current speed that you've got your machine set on, and how many colours are in, or how many rounds of colouring there are. So in this case 3, 1 for the K, 1 for the A and 1 for the Y. So to come out of there, I just hit the return. OK to delete the selected pattern, click OK, and then return again, and you just keep going back, hitting close and return until it brings you back here. And it's exactly the same with the built-in designs. Just choose the ones that you want, and then select embroidery. Now I've got a 5x7 hoop in at the moment. This design won't fit in a 5x7 hoop, so it's telling me to change it to a larger embroidery frame, which is fine. I just picked one at random. So I now go back to the main screen and we're back to square one. Now if you want to remove the embroidery arm, you must always press this button here to do so before doing so. Not when you've got your machine turned off. If you've got your machine turned off and then you remove it, that's fine. But when you've got it turned on and you want to remove it, that is when you need to press this button. Read your use manual, it will tell you lots and lots of other clever things that this machine can do. It can do multiple designs, inbuilt designs, in one hooping, all sorts of stuff. I'm not covering this today, but it can be done. I hope you enjoy your V3 and happy stitching.